Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is the 1979 Cleveland Indians MLB baseball season. Again, the Tribe was playing in the American League, the junior circuit of Major League Baseball, and home games were played at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. In 1979, the Cleveland Indians finished in 6th place with a record of 81-80, winning percentage of .503, one game over 500, 22 games out of first. The first place team was the Baltimore Orioles, who were 102-57, winning percentage of .642. Second place, the Milwaukee Brewers, 95-66, 8 games out of first. Third place, the Boston Red Sox, 91-69. Fourth place, the New York Yankees, 89-71. Fifth place, the Detroit Tigers, 85-76. Sixth place, the Cleveland Indians, 81-80. And in seventh and last place, the Toronto Blue Jays, 53-109, winning percentage of .327, 50.5 games out of first. In the American League West, the California Angels finished in first with a record of 88-74, winning percentage of .543. Second place, the Kansas City Royals, 85-77, 3 games out of first. Third place, the Texas Rangers, 83-79. Fourth place, the Minnesota Twins, 82-80. Fifth place, the Chicago White Sox, 73-87. Sixth place, the Seattle Mariners, 67-95. And in seventh and last place, the Oakland A's, 54-108, winning percentage of .333, 34 games out of first. In 1979, Willie Mays was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. On August 2nd, Yankee catcher Thurman Munson was killed in an airplane crash in Canton, Ohio. Very tragic. The average MLB player salary had jumped from $29,000 in 1970 to $113,000 by 1979. In 1979, Pete Rose signed with the Phillies. For 4 years, $13.2 million, he was the highest paid player until that time. Tommy John and Louis Tiant also signed with the Yankees. I'm reading a fine book. The title is Whitey Herzog Builds a Winner, the St. Louis Cardinals, 1979 to 1982, Doug Feldman, 2018. 1979 was the St. Louis Cardinals' Lou Brock's last season of his playing career. And on August 13th in St. Louis, he got his 3,000th career hit. I'm reading another fine book, Something Magic, the Baltimore Orioles, 1979 to 1983, Charles Kupfer, 2018. In June of 1979, the phrase Orioles magic was first heard. In the era between 1979 and 1983, the Baltimore Orioles won 1 World Series championship, 2 American League titles, and 3 division titles. On June 18th, Cleveland Indians Baltimore Orioles game in Cleveland. Orioles manager Earl Weaver was having an argument with the umpire. He had a temper tantrum. He brought out the rule book, which he proceeded to tear apart or rip apart on the field, putting on a show. I'm reading another fine book, When the Bucks Won It All, Bill Rainier and David Finoli, 2005. Tribe home attendance in 1979 was 1,012,000, or an average of 13,000 fans per game. Steve O'Neill was back as the Tribe owner. Steve O'Neill was the Tribe minority owner from 1961 to 1973 and the principal owner from 1978 to 1983. And the team was owned by his estate after his death from 1983 to 1986. Steve O'Neill. Gabe Paul was back as Tribe president. Gabe Paul was head of the Tribe ownership group from 1963 to 1972. He was the Tribe general manager from 1961 to 1973, and from 1978 to 1984. Gabe Paul. Phil Seggy was back as general manager. Seggy was the Tribe GM from 1973 to 1985, but he was under Gabe Paul from 1978 to 1984. Phil Seggy. Herb Scar was back as the Tribe play-by-play person on 3WE Radio. Herb Scar was a Tribe player from 1955 to 1959. He was a Tribe TV and radio broadcaster from 1964 to 1997, and he's buried in Lakewood Park Cemetery in Rocky River, Ohio. Herb Scar. Joe Tate was his partner on 3WE Radio. Tate was a Tribe radio and TV broadcaster from 1973 to 1987. He was a Cleveland Cavaliers radio broadcaster from 1970 to 2011. Joe Tate. Joe Castiglione was a TV broadcaster for Indians games on WJKW-TV. Castiglione was born in 1947 in Hamden, Connecticut, and he was aged 73 in 2021. He was a Boston Red Sox commentator from 1983 to the present. He was a broadcaster for the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1979 and the Cleveland Indians in 1979. Milwaukee Brewers broadcaster in 1981. He was a sports reporter for WKYC-TV in Cleveland in 1979. He was nationally known for his 2004 broadcast, which ended when the Boston Red Sox won the World Series and said, quote, "Can you believe it?" at the end of the game. He wrote a book called, in 2004, Broadcast Rights and Sites, I Saw It on the Radio with the Boston Red Sox, and a 2012 book, Can You Believe It? 30 Years of Insider Stories with the Red Sox. Joe Castiglione. Fred McLeod was another TV broadcaster. He was born in 1952 in Strongsville, Ohio, and died in 2019 in Cleveland, Ohio at age 67. He was a Tribe broadcaster in 1979, a Detroit Pistons broadcaster from 1984 to 2006, and a Cleveland Cavaliers broadcaster from 2006 to 2019. His signature calls with the Cleveland Cavaliers was a wine and gold winner after the Cavs won a game. Fred McLeod. Jeff Torborg started the year as the Cleveland Indians manager. On July 23rd, he was fired by the management, with Tribe at a record of 43-52. Jeff Torborg was a Tribe coach from 1975 to 1977, Tribe manager from 1977 to 1979. His MLB managing career continued until 2003 with the Florida Marlins, and he's age 81 currently. Jeff Torborg. Torborg was replaced by Dave Garcia on July 23rd as Tribe manager, and at the rest of the year, the Indians had a record of 38-28 under Garcia, a winning percentage of .576. Dave Garcia was a Tribe coach from 1975 to 1976 and in 79, and he was Tribe manager from 1979 to 1982, and he was voted the Tribe Man of the Year. Dave Garcia. Dave Duncan was the bullpen coach. Dave Duncan was a Tribe player in 1973 and 1974, and a Tribe coach from 1978 to 1981. Dave Duncan. Chuck Hartenstein was the pitching coach. Hartenstein was a Tribe coach only in 1972. Hartenstein was born in 1942 in Seguin, Texas, and he's 80 years old currently. During his MLB pitching career, he was 17-19 with an ERA of 4.52 and 135 strikeouts. His MLB playing career was from 1965 to 1977 with the Chicago Cubs, Pittsburgh Pirates, St. Louis Cardinals, Boston Red Sox, and Toronto Blue Jays. In college baseball, he played for the University of Texas Longhorns. In 1965, he led the Texas League in ERA 2.19. In 65 in the minors, he pitched an 18-inning game and gave up a run. He was a coach for the Milwaukee Brewers from 1987 to 1989. He was a scout for the California Angels. In the minors, he played for the Hawaii Islanders, Louisville Colonels, and Tucson Toros. And he also coached the Texas Longhorns baseball team in college. Chuck Hartenstein. Joe Nosek was back as the first base coach. Nosek was a Tribe coach from 1977 to 1981. Joe Nosek. Now, the Tribe everyday lineup, Gary Alexander was the catcher. Alexander batted .229 with 82 hits, scored 54 runs, 9 doubles, 2 triples, 15 home runs, 54 RBIs, 46 walks, 100 strikeouts in 110 games. And Gary Alexander was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1980. Gary Alexander. Andre Thornton was back at first base. Thornton batted .233 with 120 hits. He scored 89 runs, 31 doubles, a triple, 26 home runs, 93 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 90 walks, 90 strikeouts in 143 games. Andre Thornton was a Tribe player from 1977 to 1987. Andre Thornton remarried on November 4th 1978, before the season, his second wife was Gail Jones. His first wife had died in a car accident. Andre Thornton said, quote, "God had intervened and rekindled my dead heart. He had removed a beautiful flower from my life and replaced it with another beautiful flower. My message is simple. I have been through the darkest valley, and I was not forsaken. I was assailed by pounding waves and a violent storm, but my God never left me alone. My message is that God can give strength and peace and mercy through the worst of circumstances." In 1979, Andre Thornton won the Gordon Cobbledick Golden Tomahawk Award. Andre Thornton. Dwayne Kuiper was back at second base. Kuiper batted .255 with 122 hits, 46 runs scored, 9 doubles, 5 triples, 39 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 37 walks in 140 games. And Dwayne Kuiper was a Tribe player from 1974 to 1981. Dwayne Kuiper. Tom Verizor was back at shortstop. Verizor batted .220 with 99 hits. He scored 41 runs, 9 doubles, 3 triples, 34 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 34 walks in 149 games. Tom Verizor was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1981. Tom Verizor. Toby Harrah was the new third baseman. Harrah batted .279 with 147 hits. He scored 99 runs, 25 doubles, a triple, 20 home runs, 77 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, 89 walks, and 149 games. Toby Harrah was born in 1948 in Sissonville, West Virginia, and he's 74 years old currently. For his playing career, he batted .264 with 195 home runs, 918 RBIs. He was an MLB player from 1969 to 1986 with the Washington Senators, Texas Rangers, Cleveland Indians, New York Yankees. He was a manager for the Texas Rangers in 1992, four-time All-Star, 1972, 1975, 1976, and 1982. He's in the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. He played shortstop and third base. He was assistant hitting coach for the Detroit Tigers. In high school, he went to high school in LaRue, Ohio, and after high school, he worked at a factory in Marion, Ohio. He was signed by the legendary coach Tony Lucadello for the Phillies, He's rated the 25th best MLB third baseman of all time. And in 1996, he was a Tribe coach. He also was a Colorado Rockies coach. In Venezuela, he played for the Águilas del Zulia. In the minors, he played for the Norfolk Tides. In the Senior Professional Baseball League, he played for the West Palm Beach Tropics. He was traded to the Tribe by the Texas Rangers on December 8, 1978 for Buddy Bell. And he was a Tribe player from 1979 to 1983. Toby Harrah. Mike Hargrove was the new left fielder. Hargrove batted .325 with 110 hits. He scored 60 runs, 21 doubles, 4 triples, 10 home runs, 56 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 63 walks in 100 games. Mike Hargrove was born in 1949 in Perryton, Texas, and he's 73 years old currently. For his MLB career, he batted .290 with 80 home runs and 686 RBIs. As an MLB manager, he won 1,188 games, lost 1,173 games, winning percentage of .503. Mike Hargrove was a Tribe player from 1979 to 1985, Tribe coach in 1990 to 1991, Tribe manager from 1991 to 1999. He was an MLB manager after Cleveland from 2000 to 2007 with the Baltimore Orioles and Seattle Mariners. He was an All-Star in 1975, American League Rookie of the Year in 1974. He's in the Cleveland Indians Hall of Fame. He was an MLB player from 1974 to 1985 with the Texas Rangers, San Diego Padres, and Cleveland Indians. They called him the Human Rain Delay. As Tribe manager, he won 5 American League Central titles from 1995 to 1999, 2 American League titles in 1995 and 1997, 2 World Series appearances. Bob Dolgan wrote in 1991, "We all know what Mike Hargrove is like. Nice guy, solid family man, never makes any trouble. He'd be a good neighbor to sit with on the deck and talk about getting the weeds out of the lawn. He is a physical, competitive man. He is intense." Hargrove was nicknamed the Human Rain Delay by a Toronto sports writer. He would pull up his batting gloves, touch his shoulder, and look like he was screwing his thumb into his hand before each pitch. I'm reading another fine book, Mike Hargrove and the Cleveland Indians, A Baseball Life by Jim Ingraham, 2019. Hargrove was traded to the Tribe by the San Diego Padres on June 14th, 1979 for Paul Dade. Mike Hargrove. Rick Manning was back as the Tribe's center fielder. Manning batted .259 with 145 hits. He scored 67 runs, 12 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, 51 RBIs, 30 stolen bases, 55 walks in 144 games. Manning was a Tribe player from 1975 to 1983 and a Tribe TV broadcaster from 1990 to the present. Rick Manning. Bobby Bonds was the new right fielder. Bonds batted .275 with 148 hits. He scored 93 runs, 24 doubles, a triple, 25 home runs, 85 RBIs, 34 stolen bases, 74 walks, 135 strikeouts in 146 games. Bobby Bonds was born in 1946 in Riverside, California. Died in 2003 in San Carlos, California at age 57. During his MLB career, he batted .268 with 332 home runs, 1,024 RBIs, 461 stolen bases. His MLB career was from 1968. Started in 1968. He played for the San Francisco Giants, New York Yankees, California Angels, Chicago White Sox, Texas Rangers, and Cleveland Indians, St. Louis Cardinals, and Chicago Cubs. 3-time All-Star, 1971, 1973, and 1975. 3 Gold Gloves, 1971, 73, and 74. He's in the San Francisco Giants Wall of Fame. He was noted for his combination of power and speed, home runs, and stolen bases. He was the first MLB player to hit 30 home runs and have 30 stolen bases in a season. He did that 5 times. He's the second player to hit 300 home runs and have 300 stolen bases, joining Willie Mays. His first MLB season in 1969, he set an MLB record with 187 strikeouts. He was a Tribe coach from 1984 to 1987. His son Barry Bonds is the MLB home run king for his career. He died of lung cancer and a brain tumor at age 57. He was traded on October 3, 1978 by the Texas Rangers with Len Barker to the Tribe for Jim Kern and Larvell Blanks. And then he was traded on December 7th, 1979 by the Tribe to the St. Louis Cardinals for Jerry Mumphrey and John Denny. Bobby Bonds. Cliff Johnson was the new DH. Johnson batted .271 with 65 hits. Scored 37 runs, 10 doubles, 18 home runs, 61 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 24 walks in 72 games. Cliff Johnson was born in 1947 in San Antonio, Texas, and he's currently 75 years old. For his career, he batted .258 with 196 home runs and 699 RBIs. He was a DH, first baseman, and catcher. His MLB career was from 1972 to 1982 with the Houston Astros, New York Yankees, Cleveland Indians, Chicago Cubs, Oakland A's, Toronto Blue Jays, and Texas Rangers. He was with the Tribe in 1979 and 1980. He won 2 World Series titles in 1977 and 78 with the Yankees. On June 15, 1979, he was traded by the Yankees to the Tribe for Don Hood, 2 months after a locker room brawl with closer Rich Gossage that put Gossage on the disabled list for 2 months. He was a fan favorite in Toronto in the mid-1980s. He had the MLB record for pinch hit home runs, 20, until he was passed by Matt Stairs in 2010. In the minors, he played for the Denver Bears, Oklahoma City 89ers, Raleigh Durham Triangles, and Venezuela for Leones del Caracas and Llaneros de Portuguesa. Cliff Johnson. Jim Norris was a bench player in the outfield. He had .246 with 87 hits, 50 runs scored, 15 doubles, 6 triples, 3 home runs, 30 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, 44 walks in 124 games. Norris was a Tribe player from 1977 to 1979. On January 4th, 1980, he was traded by the Tribe with David Clyde to the Texas Rangers for Larry McCall, Gary Gray, and Mike Bucci. His MLB career continued until 1980, and in 1981 he was in the minor leagues. Jim Norris. Ron Hassey was a spare catcher. Hassey batted .287 with 64 hits, 20 runs, 14 doubles, 4 home runs, 32 RBIs, stolen base, 19 walks in 75 games. Ron Hassey was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1984. Ron Hassey. Ted Cox played some third base. Cox batted .212 with 40 hits, 17 runs, 6 doubles, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 14 walks in 78 games. Ted Cox was with Cleveland in 1978 and 1978 and 1979. On December 6, 1979, he was traded by the Tribe to the Seattle Mariners for Rafael Vasquez, Rob Pietroburgo, and Bud Anderson. His MLB career continued until 1981 with the Toronto Blue Jays. He died March 11, 2020 at age 65. Ted Cox. Ron Pruitt played some outfield. Pruitt batted .283 with 47 hits. He scored 23 runs, 7 doubles, 2 home runs, 21 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 19 walks in 64 games. Ron Pruitt was with Cleveland from 1976 to 1980. Ron Pruitt. Paul Dade played some outfield. Dade batted .282 with 48 hits. He scored 22 runs, 4 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, 12 stolen bases, 12 walks in 44 games. Paul Dade was with Cleveland from 1977 to 1979. On June 14, 1979, he was traded by the Tribe to the San Diego Padres for Mike Hargrove. His MLB career continued until 1980 with the San Diego Padres. And he played in Japan in 1981 with the Hanshin Tigers. Paul Dade. Dave Rossello played some second base. Rosello batted .243 with 26 hits. He scored 20 runs, 6 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, a stolen base, 15 walks in 59 games. Dave Rosello was born in 1950 in Mayaguez, Puerto Rico, and he's currently 72 years old. For his MLB career, he batted .236 with 10 home runs and 76 RBIs. His MLB career was from 1972 to 1981 with the Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians. In the minors, he played for the Portland Beavers and Wichita Arrows. He was traded by the Chicago Cubs to the Tribe on December 5, 1977 for Norm Churchill and Bruce Compton. Dave Rosello. Del Alston was an outfielder. Alston batted .290 with 18 hits. He scored 10 runs, 2 triples, a home run, 12 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 10 walks in 54 games. Del Alston was born in 1952 in Valhalla, New York, and he's currently 70 years old. For his career, he batted .238 with 3 home runs and 35 RBIs. He played from 1977 to 1980. He played for the New York Yankees, Oakland A's, and Cleveland Indians. On April 5, 1979, he was signed as a free agent by the Tribe. In the minors, he played for the Tacoma Cubs and Concordia Clippers. Del Alston. Wayne Cage was a DH. Cage batted .232 with 13 hits. He scored 6 runs, 2 doubles, a home run, 6 RBIs, 5 walks in 29 games. Cage was with Cleveland in 1978 and 1979. This was the end of his MLB career. He played in Japan until 1982 with the Hanyuku Braves. Wayne Cage. Bo Diaz was another catcher. Diaz batted .156, 5 hits and 32 at-bats, 2 doubles, an RBI, 2 walks in 15 games, and Diaz was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1981. Bo Diaz. Horace Speed played some outfield. Speed batted .143, 2 hits and 14 at-bats. He had an RBI, 2 stolen bases, 5 walks in 26 games. Speed was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1979. This was the end of his MLB career. Horace Speed. Now the pitching staff, Rick Wise was the ace pitcher. In the rotation, Wise was 15-10 with an ERA of 3.73, 34 games, all starts, 9 complete games, 2 shutouts, 231 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 108 strikeouts. Wise was with Cleveland in 1978 and 1979. He became a free agent after the season and signed with the San Diego Padres. His MLB career continued until 1982 with the Padres. Rick Wise. Rick Waits was 16-13 with an ERA of 4.44, 34 games, all starts, 8 complete games, 3 shutouts, 231 innings pitched, and 91 strikeouts. Rick Waits was with Cleveland from 1975 to 1983. Rick Waits. Mike Paxton was 8-8 with an ERA of 5.92, 33 games, 24 starts, 3 complete games, 159 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 70 strikeouts. Paxton was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1980. Mike Paxton. Large Lenny Barker was 6-6 with an ERA of 4.92, 29 games, 19 starts, 2 complete games, 137 and 1/3 innings pitched, and 93 strikeouts. Len Barker was born in 1955 in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and he's currently 67 years old. As an MLB pitcher, he was 74-76 with an ERA of 4.34 and 975 strikeouts. He was an MLB player from 1976 to 1987 with the Texas Rangers, Cleveland Indians, Atlanta Braves, and Milwaukee Brewers. He was an All-Star in 1981. He was a two-time American League strikeout leader in 1980 and 81. He threw a perfect game for Cleveland May 15, 1981. He was traded with Bobby Bonds from the Rangers to the Tribe for Jim Kern and Larvell Blanks on October 3, 1978. Now, that May 15, 1981 Cleveland perfect game was against the Toronto Blue Jays, which Cleveland won 3-0. It was the ninth MLB perfect game in MLB history. The last Tribe no-hitter. Barker said in 2006, quote, "Everyone says you're probably tired of talking about it. I say no. It's something to be proud of. It's a special thing." After he retired from baseball, he returned to Cleveland and founded a construction company. He currently lives in Geauga County, east of Cleveland. He's the head baseball coach at Notre Dame College in South Euclid. Len Barker in the minors played for the Denver Zephyrs and Tucson Toros, and Venezuela for Leones del Caracas. Len Barker. Wayne Garland was 4-10 with an ERA of 5.23, 18 games, 14 starts, 2 complete games, 94 2/3 innings pitched, and 40 strikeouts. Garland was with Cleveland from 1977 to 1981. Wayne Garland. Eric Wilkins was 2-4 with an ERA of 4.39, 16 games, 14 starts, 69 2/3 innings pitched, and 52 strikeouts. Born in 1956 in St. Louis, Missouri, and he's 64 years old he was 66 years old currently. His MLB career was just in 1979 with Cleveland. He played college baseball for the Washington State Cougars. In the minors, he played for the Charleston Charlies. His cousin is Neil Wilkins, who is my personal friend. Eric Wilkins. Sid Manji was the closer. Manji was 12-10 with an ERA of 2.40. 76 games, 19 saves, 131 innings pitched, and 108 strikeouts. Manji was with Cleveland from 1977 to 1981. He made the 1979 All-Star team. In 1979, he won the Frank Gibbons Steve Olin Good Guy Award. Sid Manji. Dan Spillner was 9-5 with an ERA of 4.62, 49 games, 13 starts, 3 complete games, a save, 157 2/3 innings pitched, and 97 strikeouts. Spillner was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1984. Dan Spillner. Victor Cruz was 3-9 with an ERA of 4.23, 61 games, 10 saves, 78 2/3 innings pitched, and 63 strikeouts. Victor Cruz was born in 1957 in Rancho Viejo, La República Dominicana, and died in 2004 in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, at age 46. For his MLB career, he was 18-23 with an ERA of 3.09 and 248 strikeouts. His MLB career was from 1978 to 1983 with the Toronto Blue Jays, Cleveland Indians, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Texas Rangers. In the minors, he played for the Denver Bears, Nashville Sounds, Oklahoma City 89ers, and Portland Beavers. In Mexico, he played for Rojos de Águila de Veracruz and Sultanes de Monterrey. And on December 5th, 1978, he was traded by the Toronto Blue Jays to Cleveland for Alfredo Griffin and Phil Lansford. Victor Cruz. Paul Russell was 2-1 with an ERA of 7.94, 17 games, 1 start, a save, 45 1/3 innings pitched, and 22 strikeouts. 1979 was the end of his MLB career. He was released by Cleveland on October 24th, 1979. His brother was Rick Russell, very successful MLB pitcher, whom Cleveland never traded for. And we could have had Rick Russell and Paul Russell, like Gaylord Perry and Jim Perry. We could have also gotten Joe Niekro along with Phil Niekro. Paul Russell. Don Hood was 1-0 with an ERA of 3.68, 13 games, a save, 22 innings pitched, and 7 strikeouts. Hood was with Cleveland from 1975 to 1979. On June 15, 1979, he was traded by the Tribe to the New York Yankees for Cliff Johnson. His MLB career continued until 1983 with the Kansas City Royals. Don Hood. David Clyde was 3-4 with an ERA of 5.91, 9 games, 8 starts, a complete game, 45 2/3 innings pitched, and 17 strikeouts. Clyde was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1979. This was the end of his MLB career. On January 4th, 1980, he was traded by the Tribe with Jim Norris to the Texas Rangers for Larry McCall, Gary Gray, and Mike Bucci. David Clyde. Larry Anderson had no decisions and an ERA of 7.56, 8 games, 16 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 7 strikeouts. Anderson was with Cleveland in 1975 and from 77 to 79. This was the end of his time in Cleveland. His MLB career continued until 1994 with the Philadelphia Phillies. On December 21, 1979, he was traded by the Tribe to the Pittsburgh Pirates for Larry Littleton and John Burden. Larry Anderson. Sandy Whittle had no decisions and an ERA of 3.38, 5 games, 10 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 6 strikeouts. Sandy Whittle was born in 1955 in Palo Alto, California, and he's currently 67 years old. He had a record of 1-0, ERA of 3.75, 57 and 2/3 innings pitched. And he was with Cleveland from 1979 to 1982. After he retired, he worked as a realtor in San Francisco, California. He was also the head baseball coach at Los Altos High School. In the minors, he pitched for the Portland Beavers, San Jose Bees, Tacoma Tugs, and Chattanooga Lookouts. Sandy Whittle. After the regular season, the National League Championship Series, the Pittsburgh Pirates, National League East champions, defeated the Cincinnati Reds, National League West champions, 3-0. In the American League, the ALCS, the Baltimore Orioles, American League East champions, defeated the California Angels, National League West champions, 3-1. In Game 1, in the 10th inning, bottom of the 10th, 3-3, John Lowenstein hit a 3-run home run to help Baltimore win that. Former Cleveland Indian John Lowenstein. Now in the World Series, the Pittsburgh Pirates, National League champions, defeated the Baltimore Orioles, American League champions, 4-3. Hall of Famers in the World Series included Bert Blyleven, Willie Stargell, Eddie Murray, Jim Palmer, Frank Robinson as a coach, and Earl Weaver as a manager. After 4 games, the Orioles were up 3-1, and they lost games 5, 6, and 7. Willie Stargell said, quote, "All we need is 3 one-game winning streaks." After having a big hit in Game 2, Manny Sanguillen said regarding Roberto Clemente, quote, "I have him in my heart. Anything we do, we're going to do for him." The Pirates' theme song during the season was "We Are Family" by Sister Sledge. The team cap was old style, flat top. Willie Stargell was a spiritual leader. He awarded stars to players for good performances placed on the cap. There were lines going across, and these gold stars were between the gold lines. Now, the postseason awards, the MVP in the American League, was Don Baylor with the California Angels. In the National League, there were 2 MVPs, Keith Hernandez of the Cardinals and Willie Stargell of the Pirates. The Cy Young Award winners, the American League, Mike Flanagan of the Baltimore Orioles, and the National League, Bruce Sutter of the Cubs. Well, that concludes today's presentation, the story of the 1979 Cleveland Indians. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.